we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford. Come right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Congratulations to Honora for winning the Best Picture tonight for the Academy Awards. We do talk about a little bit about the Academy Awards as it was going on earlier in the day. Plus, also as well, we talked about Severance breaking some records for Apple TV Plus. We talk about the new Jurassic World movie or Park movie or World, whatever, Jurassic something movie that's coming out. Plus, we have a ton of other stuff that we cover. Go ahead and check it out today. The Pop Culture Cosmos. It's already available now on the YouTube, and then also tomorrow on wherever you get your audio podcasts and radio stations worldwide. We are so thankful for everybody that listens to the best in pop culture, the Pop Culture Cosmos. Yes, and I also talk The Rock and John Cena as well. Plus also as well, Magic Man is here. He heads up actually today was Mark, but usually it's Sean today. Sean was watching the hockey. He was watching all sorts of good stuff. We were going back and forth, but he's a great part of what we do at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Shout out to all the guys that are there. It fills up my entire screen how many people were on stage. It's a beautiful thing. Back to in the old days, it'd be like just me. So yes, it's always great to have everyone there that's watching or on the simulcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you get a chance to go ahead and check it out. But if you want those VIPs, they're hard to come by, but go ahead and stop on by anyways at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. The Lakerholics crew were here on Saturday. You know Laker Tom is giddy right now. I feel vindicated. Me, Jeannie, Rob Pelinka, Laker Tom, they say they're all vindicated because the Lakers are now in second place. Go ahead and check out how happy they are at Lakerholics.com. Absolutely as well. Of course, also our good friends, Alfred Esmond, Stone Hansen, giving you some great NBA draft coverage. It's also as well Legend 350 at Legend Next Sports Media. Also as well, of course, Empire Jeff TV covering the Lakers and the Dodgers. And of course, our good friend, how would I be remiss without saying this? Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo! Also as well, of course, just please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Everybody out there, repeat after me. Like and subscribe. What was that old commercial, the cereal commercial? He likes it, Mike, he likes it. Like it, like. Yes, like. Hit the like button. Help get those algorithms going. Get everything going for us because it really helps the channel out. Go ahead, Magic Man. Oh, you got no volume, man. And don't have you on mute. Yeah. Got it. Okay, you'll be right back. No worries. So please go ahead and like and subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. And also, as well, don't forget to go ahead and become a member today for just $2.99 a month. The best value in all of YouTube is right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers, coming into tonight, had a chance with the loss. No, I can't hear you yet, Magic. Had a chance with the victory tonight to go ahead and get into second place in the Western Conference because Boston, those green yucky people, they did help us out by beating Denver today. But would that happen on the second game of a home, kind of back-to-back over the course of 3 days against their arch rival Clippers? And with that, Magic, have I got you?
I think so.
Yep, there you go. Your beautiful Canadian voice is right there for you. So yes, with that, the Lakers head into tonight's game with a chance to get the second place. I'll tell you what, as Raphael 562, again, thank you, gifting out the subscriberships. Thank you so much for doing that. You'll be hearing "You're awesome" here in a second, 5 times.
You're awesome.
Really, there you go, right on cue. You know who's awesome is the Lakers because start off with Luka getting hot in the first quarter. The Lakers defense pouncing on the Clippers in the second half. And the Lakers, despite getting the Clippers back into the game with some really sloppy play and a lot of turnovers, including 16 turnovers, including 8 by LeBron and 6 by Luka, They were shooting too well. 50% overall for the field, 42.9% from three. And that was just enough to again hold the Clippers to just 102 points with the victory tonight. They do hold off the Clippers with just enough, 108 to 102. They are now a sparkling 38 and 21. They are now second place, but just by percentage points ahead of the Denver Nuggets, 10.5 games out of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game are two great guys indeed. It is our usual staff here for the panelists today. I'm going to start off with the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stomp on by and talk about today's game after he was there on playback.tv. So Sacred's Fast Break. It is a good man indeed. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. I remember at the beginning of the season, we were asked to give our prognostications. I asked, and nobody on our entire 13, 14, was it 15? I don't know how many. I've got to go back and look at it. People that went out there and gave their thoughts on what the season would be like. Nobody had the Lakers pegged above sixth place in the Western Conference. Even earlier last week, noted ESPN Laker hater Tim whatever his name is, not the Dallas guy, the one that's on the East Coast, the one that deals with loves the Boston Celtics so much. Laker hater. Tim Bontemps. Yeah, Bontemps. Yes, he hates the Lakers and could not see a pathway for the Lakers to go ahead and become a major title contender. Even to this day, he still doesn't see it. Yet with all that besides, the Lakers are now ahead of the pack outside of OKC in second place. A really topsy-turvy roller coaster ride has been Magic Man. But right now we're heading high. We're staying high. And we're in second place right now in the Western Conference after tonight's victory, Magic Man. What got it done tonight against the Clippers once again?
Just some good old-fashioned grit, Gerald, and some timely shooting. On our chat, we've been discussing how the floodgates have been open, so to speak, for Dalton Connect, and he played his best game as a Laker tonight, Gerald. 5 of 8 from deep. Defense was pretty solid, and ate up some minutes, and he's shown that he wants to be on the floor with what.
Oh no, Black Thunder says don't ever badmouth Vando again. Yes, if he's shooting 3-pointers, we will badmouth Vando all day long, Black Thunder. So don't tell us that. Don't tell us to do something, but we will tell you the truth. Vando is a terrible 3-point shooter, and to have him out there shooting 3-pointers is detrimental. He's best underneath going after those rebounds. But go ahead, Magic Man. That irritates me. Yeah, don't tell me what I cannot do on my own channel.
No, it irritates me as well, Joe. You're anyway. Well, we could discuss that later. But yeah, don't tell us what we can or can't say.
Calm down. Lakers in second place. Lakers in second place. Yes.
Yeah, I honestly believe that a lot of the turnovers that LeBron has been giving away lately have to do with fatigue. I think it's just he's a little gassed at the end of quarters, and if you notice at the end of quarters, that's when he'll hurl a ball into the fourth row of a seat, or he'll be sloppy with his dribble. I think it's just he just needs a blow on the sideline. I don't think it's anything within the vicissitudes of the game that's causing him to have those turnovers. Other than that, the defense is solid again, Gerald. Have to give it up to the guys. Really a team effort. I think a lot's been made about the Lakers defense without Anthony Davis. And the truth of the matter is, Gerald, is that even though we've won 6 in a row, there still isn't a lot of film on the Lakers to try and figure out what they're doing. So I think a lot of this is just based on effort and rather than execution. defensively, because at some point somebody's going to figure it out. We're going to have a bad game down the road, but 6 in a row. I think we're 7-2 now with Luka in the lineup, which is like if you're winning almost 80% of your games, like here we go. So it was a great team effort, and I enjoyed the win. And by the way, this is the first time since 07-08 and 08-09 that the Lakers have had consecutive winning season series against the Clippers, which I know is like a long time, but there you go. So the Lakers have won the season series against the Kings. They've won it against the Clippers. They can win it against the Warriors and Suns, Gerald. And for the most part, I mean, they've really put a button on the division so far.
Once again, the Lakers win 108 to 102. They are now, like I said, in second place in the Western Conference at 38-21. Just refreshed it right now, and ESPN just posted it. It looks really nice. And here today to go ahead and discuss that, the Lakers' victory, plus the fact that the Lakers are now in second place in Western Conference. Good man indeed. First up, go ahead and check out what he's doing today with his game, the video game that you need in your life, Crypt, Coreupt on Steam, and then also as well, LakersBall.com's Oxide T47, and of course his company Simblades, Simblades.com. It is Joe Soro. Joe, glad to have you here. People are justifying Vando left and right, and they're not really doing a good job of it. Again, he played hard, great out going at the boards. That's what he needs to do. Let's just leave the 3-pointers away from him, and then just again focus on what he's doing, can do well, and not what he wants to do or what he can't do well. Joe, let's get back to the team. This defense, again, holding another team to 102 points. The Clippers, once again, the Lakers are riding a wave. It's now in second place in the Western Conference. Dalton came up big today. People were worried about him left and right. Would he ever get right again after the trade? A lot of things went right today. Despite all the sloppy turnovers, this is a game where the Lakers, I think, showed that despite the sloppiness and keeping the Clippers in the game, they got enough to get the job done, Joe.
Well, it's really only LeBron that was, at least the last couple quarters, where LeBron was just, I don't know what he was doing. I really don't.
Well, Luka had 6 turnovers himself.
Yeah, Luka has the ball. The thing is, the difference between Luka and LeBron turnovers today, where LeBron was making a lot of jump passes, and those are usually a no-go. Sometimes the other team can intercept through a passing lane, and it's somewhat understandable. But I think the irritation was the Lakers were about to bust it open, and then those turnovers got them back in the game. JJ needs to tighten that up a little bit. Maybe he needs to call a timeout, sit LeBron, which he actually sort of did in the fourth quarter. He did sit LeBron down, and maybe that's what calmed him down. But if it wasn't for Vando getting those offensive rebounds before he hit that 3 to go from 5 to 8, what would have probably been, because the Clippers they had some good momentum there. It could have been a 3-point game.
Talk about when Gabe Vincent hit that 3, right?
No, I'm talking about the LeBron 3.
Oh, LeBron. I think because you said Vando. My bad.
Don't interrupt me again when I talk.
Oh, shut up, Joe. Go ahead.
I said when Vando got the rebounds. Do you want me to say it in Arabic for you so you understand it?
You might have to, because you did just the way you said it. You said,
I mean, you're wearing
the rebound and hit that 3.
You're wearing pink today. You want me to prance around the room?
It's red.
It's pink.
It's red.
You know what?
Red. It's Atari red.
I'm sorry. What's wrong with wearing pink?
It's red.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Jackass.
When you have room to speak,
you notice the answer.
I'll give it to you. When you have room to speak, I will give it to you.
Never diss men wearing pink again, buddy.
I will diss.
I'm wearing red. It's a red shirt.
There's nothing.
It looks pink on camera.
I'll send it to you guys in the WhatsApp. There you go. I'll send you guys in WhatsApp.
I know it's red, Gerald.
Luka and the team in general, that first quarter was 9 turnovers. That definitely is a team issue, and of course, Luka's handling the ball. Look, a turnover is a turnover. I guess maybe they don't make a difference whether they're good turnovers or bad turnovers, or unforced turnovers, I should say, and forced turnovers. However, when your team is playing defense this aggressively, it does allow you to feel a little bit more comfortable that they can make stops when you need them to. Bogdanovich hit, I think, 4 threes. Felt like more, but he missed every other shot, which was funny. If it wasn't for those threes, I think the Lakers would have probably busted this open. But in the end, the Lakers kind of imposed their will again against the Clippers. And this is the third straight game they've pretty much put their foot in their throats. The only reason why these last 2 games weren't complete blowouts, like 3 games ago, was because the Lakers were getting a little lackadaisical with the ball and not taking care of it. But they pretty much had control of this game from beginning to end again. And what can you say, guys? I mean, I'm not going to complain. They won. They're in second place. Holy smokes, they're in second place. And it's March, folks. I'm not going to keep going back and forth about what we predicted before. What we predicted before got washed the day Luka Doncic got traded to LA, because there's not a human on earth, not even God, and I've said this a few times, knew that deal was coming. If any of us knew a deal like that was even possible, maybe our predictions would have been different. But that right there, in my opinion, the day February 1 is when this whole thing changed. Everything we said before doesn't matter anymore, because right now you have a team that has rallied around itself on defense to pick up the slack from, in my opinion, who was their best defender for 7 years now, almost 7 years. And they're playing better team basketball because of it. And then you infused a ball handling wizard in Luka Doncic at the same time. It just, what can you say? What can you say other than I can't wait. This ride has been amazing so far, and I'm looking forward to riding it even more.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro, along with Magic Man Sean Grice, and me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Truly appreciate you joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Get us on all those algorithms. The Lakers winning 108 to 102. Before I get back to you, Sean, here we go with the Vando. Kyrie says, Joe, you still think Vando isn't worth their salt? Another 3, meaning his contract. Let's just go ahead and just talk monetary.
Let's not start sucking each other's you-know-what just yet. Can we? Let's let the season progress, please. Let's just let it progress. Let it do its thing. Yes, he's playing very well, and I'm happy for him. But we all know we're Laker fans. We all know what's at stake here. If the Lakers are going to continue to play like this, that means greed is going to start rearing its head again. We're going to expect them to do this when it matters. I'm very excited to see what happens there. They have not been in a position like this since 2020. And this time we're not going to have some outside distraction stop the season. So now the Lakers are going to have about a month and some change to put their foot down here and see if they can seal at least a 2 or 3. 2 or 3 right now is pretty realistic. So let's see how it plays out. Then we'll talk.
Sean, let me go ahead and ask you this. Luka Doncic, I know, again, getting back into shape, and people have been, just at him right and left on this channel. I'll be talking about how Luka this, Luka that, Luka this as Xbox comes in. Let me ask you this, Sean. How satisfying is it now that, the day that Xbox, John Costa, by the way, shout out to him, Lakers Corner Clutch Talk, and also Zach as well on Lakers Live. Joe Soro and I were on there, and then you shortly thereafter praising the trade, telling our audience to believe in what we're talking about when it comes to Luka and to see it matriculate. We're not even seeing the best of Luka right now. The best of Luka is what we saw in that first quarter, but we're not even seeing a complete Luka game over the course of 4 quarters yet. The Lakers are in second place. How satisfying is that for you? All those people that were talking smack about Luka for all these weeks, including Lloyd. Lloyd even had a compliment.
Can we stop talking about the numbskulls and what they think? Can we talk about the game?
Again, there's a
They're
little
part of the
question. How
audience,
sad
yeah.
is
Who gives a shit
how
what
sad-
people thought? Anyone who thought this was a bad deal is a moron. It doesn't matter if Luka was 10 points and 11 rebounds tonight and they lost. It's still the right fucking trade. Anybody who doesn't believe that doesn't belong in any discussion. They belong to be muted, away, gone. We're going to keep talking about this after every game? Oh, Luka shot 30. Oh, what do you guys think about this now? Fuck them and fuck where they come from. Who gives a shit? Seriously. This was the biggest trade in the history of the NBA in the 21st century. How about that? You like that? You like that?
So how's it
Can I
feel,
finish?
No, you're not going to
Can I
finish.
finish?
You talk about some other numbskull again, I'm going to interrupt.
Can I finish?
Fine.
All right.
Actually, Nick, he was doing it to you, and I just mentioned someone else, Joe.
This is a real life version of our chat.
They're not the only guys. They're not the only guys. You know damn well there's a lot of people out there. And again, I'm gonna say it nicely. They had a coffin outside the Mavericks arena. Go watch that video and you tell me how big this trade was.
Gerald,
Mm-hmm.
you know how long ago you asked me that question?
Too long ago, but I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it was about 4 minutes ago. But thank you, Joe. That was great. It's very satisfying. It's very satisfying.
Okay.
When
Go ahead.
What help do you think I need, people? You think I'm all fucked up? Like I'm out here banging my head on the wall today?
Joe, don't go Joe Pesci and Goodfellas on the audience, all right? We know. Wow,
Keep that motherfucker here. Keep him here.
And,
Folks, I'm done. For those of you who haven't been here, you guys have heard this. No, Sean, I got to talk. I got to do this. You guys got to know, I don't have problems in my life. I don't. Just because I get crazy like a firecracker. You light it, it bursts, and then it's over. All right, Sean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to interrupt anymore.
You want a problem? You want a problem? You want a problem? Thank you. Gerald, it bears... Thank you. Thank you.
I'm talking to somebody else, Sean. You can go ahead and talk. Don't worry. I'm not going to interrupt you. All right, I'm done.
Sure you are. Gerald, it just bears repeating. Anybody who's watched the NBA over the past 5 years, even the most casual of casual people wouldn't bat an eye at this trade, especially with the Lakers. Unfortunately, I have to keep saying we're the preeminent franchise because we've got 17 and somebody else has 18. But with Luka Doncic, I get the feeling that in about 5 to 7 years, Gerald, I'll be repeating that we're the eminent franchise and that we're going to have 19-20. Lloyd, Nick T, I'm not sure, we're just pointing it out because you guys came out and you said what you said about Luka. If everyone's going to talk about what he said about Jared Vanderbilt, then fair play is fair play. So we could come back and say, well, you guys were talking about Luka till the cows come home about he's fat, he's out of shape, he's turning the ball over. Look, man, they both had 9 assists tonight, Gerald. 9 assists. That's 18 assists. That's 18 assists, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, four of Luka's passes were made threes. 3 of LeBron's were made threes. So that's 21 points right there. We can win the 3-point battle not having Luka shoot a single three if he's getting guys wide open. I know in the chat a lot was talked about comparing Kobe and Luka. Kobe and Luka are two different players. All due respect. Kobe is a scorer. Kobe was a scorer. Luka is a shooter that can score. There's a big difference. And the other little rub that Luka has is that he's so beyond SGA and beyond, I'd even say Jokic, Luka is the best facilitator in the NBA that doesn't need help. He can score and facilitate. He can run the show all the way around. Jokic has proven that when he is a scorer, it usually takes at least another player or two getting 20 plus in order for Denver to win. Luka didn't need that in Dallas or LA. So that's a huge difference as well. So with somebody who's heliocentric and is ball dominant, turnovers are just a part of the game. It's going to happen. You know, if we were back watching Showtime, all due respect, you guys out there, you'd be complaining about Magic Johnson, and you'd be saying, "Oh, Pat Riley should sit Magic for that turnover right there. You should sit him for this turn." That's not what Pat did. He understood the game. Irvin has the ball in his hands. He's going to have 5 or 6 turnovers a game, but I'm going to get 12 or 14 assists out of him too. So it's about you have to live and die with the heliocentricism of Luka Doncic, Gerald. And again, it bears repeating. Watching the game tonight again, LeBron is not dribbling out the clock anymore. He doesn't need to. He's at the top of the key. He looks for Luka right away. 3 or less dribbles, the ball's out of his hands. And if you watch him, when he has the ball, it's half a second or a second, and he's making a decision: shoot, dribble, pass. It's very precise, and it's going to get even better, like you said, Gerald, because Luka, we haven't seen a complete game out of him and LeBron yet. So there are a lot of positives here. And as far as Jared Vanderbilt goes, he played his game tonight. What do you want? Do you guys want us to give him a cookie or give you guys a cookie every time he has a good performance? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking in the camera right now, Gerald. I'm looking in the camera, and I am telling our audience out there, I'll make you a bet. I'll bet all of you out there, when I come out to LA, I'll buy a round of drinks for all of you. Show up at a bar on one condition. You bet me you don't think Jared Vanderbilt's going to get played off the floor in the playoffs. Bet me. Bet me, everybody. And if you want to bet me, put in bet on, Sean, in the chat, on. Put your money where your mouth is, ladies and gentlemen, because I like the dude. He's a great player, but he's going to get his ass played off the court in the playoffs.
He's just got limitations. He's got limitations in his game that during the regular season, Sean, you could still have him in there for 15 to 20 minutes a game. Again, if he crashes the offensive boards, that's really a plus, plus his hustle out there. Kawhi did beat him on a few times, but then again, Kawhi is one of the best offensive players when healthy, still in the NBA. So his defense, one-on-one defense, he's a good defender, but not a great defender. But he still provides so much energy out there. It's helped the Lakers immensely. No one can take that away from him. But it's just the same adage like when AD was here shooting three-pointers. It's not a strength. When he's a career 28% shooter, he's just not a strength. So you should not have him out there shooting threes. It just doesn't make sense. If we live on a metrics basis, if the NBA is all about metrics and numbers and where people are supposed to be at because that's where they do the best at, if it's all about that, Sean, then obviously you do not want Vando shooting three. He shot 3 today and he missed all 3. It's just not smart basketball. If he ends up with the ball, it's exactly what the other team wants. And the thing is, in the playoff setting, if he's doing that, he's going to get played off the floor. He needs to accentuate what he does best. That's right underneath the basket, getting those rebounds and getting passes that he can catch on to and dunk and lob that we saw today, Magic Man. It's just that simple. But also here today, again, good man indeed. It is, of course, the man from down under, the legend himself, the guy who did head up our Playback.tv, South Acres Fast Break live broadcast. It is, of course, Mark, aka Xbox. Great to have you here, my friend. Want to bring you in here, your thoughts on today's game, and also the fact the Lakers have exceeded all of our expectations, except for Roberts, of course, who's patting himself on the back right now. I think he asked, are we on cloud nine? I'm not on cloud nine. I'll be on cloud nine when the Lakers win the championship. That's when you're supposed to be on cloud nine. Am I pleased? Am I excited? Am I happy? Yes. But cloud nine will have to wait, Mark.
Look, if the chip's the benchmark for Cloud9, well, I'm not there either, but I'm pretty damn happy.
It's all about the rings.
It's all about the rings. But let's be honest, we're in second place when no one had us there, and so where we can go to from here is we'll wait to see what happens. But I mean, tonight's game was great. Like, I don't know, man. We also got to factor in the fact that we didn't have our third and fourth best players in the team playing. So you factor that in tonight, and we've gone into the fourth quarter, with a 12-point lead. Yeah, admittedly, we've lost the fourth quarter by 6 points, but we've won the game. So we've kept things rolling, and these are games that honestly, under Ham and stuff, would have slipped. There's a complete different vibe now with Luka. The boys have been saying it the last few games, but it's how I felt when Messi played for Barca, man. There's an aura there that you feel is different. And I felt like even if they did get close, that we'd just win. It just feels that way. Now, like Sean said, it's not always going to happen. We're going to have a blowout loss. We're going to have a close loss. These things, it's NBA basketball. You expect that. But man, what an integration for Luka into this team. We also need to remember he wasn't playing, the week before he got here. He hadn't played for a couple months, man. So really, everything's positive for me right now. And I think what Joe, said there was quite right. I think we are focusing a little bit too much on the past. I've said that a few times in the chat to a couple of the guys that are wanting to keep going down the AD trade, etc. It's in the past now. It's not even if we how do you think Mavs fans feel about it? Like, if we can't move on, they're never going to be able to. So I'm happy as, man. Luka's just been playing brilliantly. LeBron can now focus. I felt like LeBron got the ball a bit too much late in the game where it should have just gone straight to Luka. I felt like he was trying to do what LeBron does late. He just needs to focus on shooting and scoring. And wow, what an asset that's going to be. So it's sick, man. What a 1-2 punch we've got. And then you throw in boys that weren't there tonight. I mean, AR's been playing so well. And then you throw in Rui, who has just been I've been on a few shows with you, Gerald, where I've just cut sick on Rui. And I thought, what's he doing? He's not training, he's not developing. I couldn't have been more wrong. In the last couple of months, he's played to his size. So we've missed him tonight, but a couple of the other boys have stepped up. Your boy Connect. Shout out to you, Dalton. That's a decent game by him. 17 odd points, 19 odd points, timely ones too, when we were trying to stay in the lead. And sick three. Sick three is a nice dunk. Man, really enjoyed what Dalton did tonight. He's been a bit maligned the last few games, and he does look off at times, Gerald. I know you're a big fan of his, but you got to give him props tonight. And I just think, wow, what a team effort. I know, who did they have out tonight? I'm pretty sure most
it
of
was
their
Rui, AR, and also Jordan Goodwin out
and Goodwin. Well, them, did they have any players out tonight of significance?
Norman Powell
sorry.
left early at 9 minutes. Yes. They also had Derek Jones Jr., their top defender.
Okay. He's a nice dunker. But hey, man, so we played a pretty full strength Clippers team who would have been wanting some revenge from the other night. And we've just kept it rolling. And we never felt like we were going to lose that lead. There was a little bit of intrepidation at the end that we're always going to have when a Laker game's tight. But man, it's all good. Like, it is from where we were to where we are now. Second place in the Western Conference. It's just insane. Everything feels good to me right now. I'm not cloud nine, Gerald, but I'm getting there.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, Mark, aka
No, fair
Xbox,
enough.
Magic,
Yeah.
Magic Man Sean Grice, and Joe Soro himself as well. Along with me, Joe Glassford, thanks again for watching and listening. Lakers are now in second place after 108-102 victory over the LA Clippers. Joe, I want to bring up to you. I mean, we've talked about 40 years old. LeBron is not going to be able to be at a high sustained level each and every game. He's going to have his bad games. But when he's had his bad games many times in the past, AD could not make up the difference on certain occasions. There were some times where it worked, but a lot of times where it didn't. When LeBron looked like he was 40 years old and just was not going to have a good game, regardless. Today was one of those days. It's just, again, 40 years old, so much is on his plate, asking him to do so much. He still played his heart out on defense, but he obviously, shooting wise, the way he was passing today, you obviously see it wasn't going to be his day. But that's why you have a guy like Luka that when you're 1A or whatever you want to say, your co-alpha is not having a good game, the other guy can do what is needed to be done to help this team win games, Joe. And that's what happened today.
It's okay if he doesn't have a good game. I don't mind. I don't mind players not having a good game. It happens. What I would like JJ Redick to really start tightening up is the unforced passes. I think that needs to stop. And maybe they don't make those passes when they're tight in a game, probably. But I still think it creates bad habits. Other than that, it's still, even if LeBron isn't having a good game or isn't shooting particularly well or doing anything well, let's say, Luka not shooting well, they're still a threat each and every time they get the ball, each and every time they take possession of the ball. And that's something you can't really measure in a lot of ways, other than how the team performs and wins games. The Lakers are winning games, and not only are they winning games, even throughout all these quote unquote issues, they're still holding teams to basically 100 to 101 points the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. These guys are balling, man. These guys are playing defense. They're not even clicking all the way yet. These guys have not played together for more than 3 weeks. What the hell's going to happen when they've played 2 months? What's going to happen when they have an off season and maybe a player or two that's even better? This is starting to play out in a lot of ways like the Dodgers this last year, where they went into the playoffs with, at that time going in, they didn't know who their ace was going in. They didn't really have a pitching staff that they thought, oh, this is how it's going to be, and it slowly developed in the playoffs, and it got created on the fly, and then they went on to win the title. The Lakers are kind of doing the same thing here, in that they don't really know yet exactly how this is going to play out, but they're giving off little signs that should they all start getting on the same page even more as the year progresses, they're going to be in a position to scare a lot of people in the playoffs.
Magic Man, let me bring it back to you. Do you concur with Joe? Because I do. I think that was very sound analysis right there. It's that, again, I said it from the get-go, that this trade with Luka and LeBron, it makes them competitive in any series against any team. Now, Natalia says they're better than Boston and Cleveland. That's a lot of confidence right there. I'm glad to see it. It's good to see you keep going with that. You keep going with that confidence, Natalia. Absolutely. You know what, Magic Man? That doesn't seem so far-fetched after all.
No, not that far-fetched. I agree. That's all I've got for that, Gerald. But yeah, I agree.
All right. But let me ask you this on top of that. How far do you think this thing's going to go? Excuse me. They've got the rest of the homestand, just a couple games left, but there is a very ominous East Coast trip coming on the horizon. How they will be after that may determine exactly where they will be in the standings after that.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Denver Milwaukee back to back. It's similarly to the one a few years ago where we played the Clippers and the Bucks. Gerald,
Yeah.
I think it's a barometer, and yeah, it looks ugly because for some reason a really weird uh, kink in the schedule has the Lakers playing back to back twice. Milwaukee in Denver, and then you're at home and you've got Denver and then Milwaukee. So we're going to see Gerald. Yeah, I kind of expect us to do pretty well on the Grammy trip. But we'll see. I mean, it's 6 in a row right now. Let's just keep stacking those wins, Gerald. Can we get to double digits? I think we could get to 10, Gerald. I
There you
think we
go.
could
Well, they've
get to
won 6
10.
so far. Oh, they've won. Was it 6 or 7? Let me see it. Did
It's
ESPN
6.
update? It's 6 right now. Okay. As the Lakers again with the victory, 108 to 102. Xbox, I will bring it back to you. What has been the most impressive thing since Luca has come on? What has been the most impressive aspect of this team for you in the time that he's been here that could be one of the best reasons why they're now in second place in the Western Conference for you?
Well, I mean, all I kept hearing about how bad of a defender Luca was, and since he's come, all we've done is keep defending well. So that's been huge, man. Even tonight, 102 points. I know for the previous whatever amount of games that we've had this run on, it was 100 or less points. So man, it's just been a super impressive team effort, and the confidence the team's gotten out of the trade would be the exact opposite of the confidence that the Mavs got from the trade. Like it's just elevated. The club's elevated, and you can see it in the play of AR before he got injured. You could see it a little bit in what Rui had carried on for a few months, but then it's the periphery guys too, like Hayes, man. Okay, Hayes hasn't had his best game tonight, but he did play pretty damn well the other game, and he's played well for a starting center that most people thinks a 3 or 4 big man on a team. He stepped up. DFS had a terrible moment late, but overall he's played really well. The moment that nearly broke our hearts when he went to dunk it and he missed it, then he went to put back and he missed it. Crazy stuff by DFS late, but he's played really well, man. Gabe, how much have I talked about hating Gabe's face? Now I love it, and I've loved it for a few weeks now. It's just a team thing, and we've got to give credit where it's due to JJ Redick, because man, there's something there with that guy. They're listening, they're resonating with him, to integrate a superstar that coming back from injury was pretty obviously devastated with the trade, has been insane what he's done there. So man, the coaching effort, the playing effort, it's just the club's on a different vibe, on a different level right now. So like John says there, Luke is a winner, and not everyone is a winner. Like, you can be a great player, but not a winner. You can ask people like Charles Barkley about that. Luke is a different cat, man. And it's just been sick. And LeBron, that's the other one we got to give credit to. LeBron's looked 10, 15 years younger in a lot of these games. Not so much late tonight, but the scoring output has been insane by LeBron. And, to think, okay, the turnovers were hurting us tonight, and he was playing, like the guys say, playing with the food a bit too much. But we got over the line in the end, and they'll learn from that. But yeah, LeBron seriously elevated his game too. So overall, what an integration. We've only gone forward. So when it had all the hallmarks and the people in the chat, blah blah blah, going on for ages that how this could go wrong, and seemingly it's going the other way quickly to the point now where we're all giving ourselves a real chance. Now, obviously, next year when we get a better big man, that's going to be even better. But we're in for a shot this year, man, to go all the way because of Luka the Don. So it's all good. All
Joe,
good.
let me bring it into you here. I do want to go ahead and touch on Dalton Connect because, as Mark knows, we're just so high on Dalton at the beginning of the season, and then still a lot of people are. Like even today on Twitter, when the announcement was made that Gabe Vincent was going to start alongside Luca, people were still asking about Dalton. And we've seen the kid have a lot of highs and a lot of lows this season. I mean, from his outstanding 30-plus point game earlier this season when he started, he had a couple 20, I believe, also and added on a 20-point-plus game after that. He's been at times really good, but again, he is a rhythm player. He needs his minutes, but he needs to start making shots. But his defense has been so suspect, it's hard to keep him out there for a sustained period of time. Today, they found ways to utilize him in the defense properly. I don't want to say hid him in the defensive scheme, but still, they had him out there, didn't hurt them on the defensive end, got rebounds, made buckets, and got 19 points. This has got to be a big confidence booster for the kid, and hopefully he could parlay that to more consistency going forward in the time he gets and the production that he gives out for the Lakers, Joe.
That goes with any player. You have to have some kind of rhythm at some point, especially if you're a shooter. And he's a shooter. He's going to make his millions for the next, barring injury, for the next 10 to 12 years being a shooter. A shooter cannot play 10 minutes a game. It's, here and there. Whether it's his fault or not is not the point. The point is he needs to play consistent minutes to get his scoring going. Now, I'm going to use an example of this. Jackson Hayes. Would you guys say that Jackson Hayes has played better basketball the last 3 weeks than ever in his career?
Absolutely correct.
Okay, so let's not say this is a coincidence for a minute. He's gotten 20. He got 26 minutes tonight, and he's playing more than he ever has in his career. And look what's going on. He's developing. He's playing. And fans, observers, sometimes we say things that are stupid and not realize it because we're so about the win and we're so about making sure that at that single moment in the third quarter with 8:45 minutes that play has to happen. Well, folks, that's not very realistic. Guys like Jackson Hayes, guys like Gabe Vincent, guys like Vanderbilt, these guys are not going to be LeBron or Luka or Shai Gilgeous or Durant. They're not those players. And sometimes we need to scale back and understand that even though we're in the moment watching the game and saying, damn you, so-and-so, you have to scale back. You have to do the post. I think this is why it's good to do the post game after you watch it, because you should calm down now and really talk, unless, of course, you got to do some things, to respond to certain discussions. But when we sit down and we like focus on, okay, what is the likelihood of this guy's talent doing what it's doing? Well, the likelihood is everyone's pretty much doing what they're supposed to do. Vanderbilt is the energy guy. His energy tonight, the rebounds he did not get today, and I think he had 9. He had his hand in God knows how many. I think he might have had his hand in 15 or 16 that the rebounds didn't go his way, but he touched the ball on missed shots. That's how in tune he was with the ball. It was very Rodman-esque in terms of how he was timing the ball off of every miss the Lakers made. Now, why is that now different than when we're trying to make sense of why this team is playing better defense without arguably the best defender that in the league the last 5-6 years. I'm saying arguably that he was the best. Some people want to believe it or whatever. You know what I mean? Top 3, let's say. Well, guys, it's 2025. The NBA is all about spacing, and when all your focus is on LeBron and Luka, he's able to slither through because they know that they can't drop back and go, oh, Anthony Davis is going to start shooting threes. We don't need to really worry about Anthony Davis. We're going to sag back, try to get the rebound. Now they're like, oh, shoot. They're like on skates. And they don't know what to do, right? You have to cover those guys. You have to cover Luka. You don't know what the hell he's going to do. And if you don't cover him, he's going to go by you or he's going to shoot it. You're screwed either way, which creates more space, which creates more lanes for guys to go and get rebounds and cause havoc there. There's so much that Luka Doncic does to a game that does not show up even with your own eyes watching the game, because you'd have to focus on what he's doing the entire time. And as a fan and as an observer, you're paying attention to the ball going to the basket like everyone else. That's just what you know. It's a live game. It's a live game. You can't not watch the ball go to the hoop unless it's maybe a comfortable lead, or it's not competitive, or you're not worried about who they're playing because you know they're going to win. Something like that. And those little details are important to discuss. It's important to understand that role players don't play like stars, number one. If they did, they wouldn't be here. If Jared Vanderbilt didn't struggle from three, didn't struggle being able to use his footwork to create more space to score on a regular basis, Jared Vanderbilt would be a $20 to $30 million a year player. You know why? Because his defense and his energy is definitely top notch. If he was able to hit shots, he would never sniff 3 teams in 6 years now. So take each talent and make it what it is. Now, as far as Dalton Connect is concerned, this is not a coincidence that Dalton Connect is got more minutes today, and look what happened. It's just guys need to play, and there's going to likely be a moment maybe this summer if Jared continues. Let's say the Lakers win the championship, and Jared has a hell of a playoff run, and Dalton has a hell of a playoff run, and Gabe has a hell of a playoff run. Guys, when everyone is healthy without Rui and Austin, you can't play all these guys 30 minutes. You can't, especially in the playoffs. But what you can look at is, hey, now you can use these assets to possibly get maybe one big acquisition that would really put this thing together. Because there are seasons in the NBA where and it's not a regular thing, that this team is going to likely be the team. God, the 2017, the 2018, like Warriors. When you looked at the Miami teams in 2012, 2013, San Antonio in 2014, the Lakers in 2009, the Spurs in 2003, and then the Lakers three-peat. Like, there are times where you can see this team is got it. And if everything is good on the injury side, this team's likely going to take it all. And right now, the Lakers are a little bit ahead of that due to the circumstances of the trade. But what could happen is
beep, 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 beep. There's 23 games left in the regular season. You just got to slow down, big guy. But I like where we're headed.
What the hell are you talking about?
I thought we were backing up over the haters.
No, we're backing up.
You're backing up the bricks truck for the Lakers fast break.
Why don't you back up your own?
We're backing up because we haven't.
Listen to what I say here. You're going to listen to what I say, and you're going to talk after I'm done. You understand?
No.
I'm done with this discussion.
No comprende. No comprende, Toro.
Where am I going to back up to? The wall? Okay. There is no backing up. We're going through the fucking wall. Okay, we're going through the wall.
There behind you. Okay. You've got a little bit of space there behind you, Joe. I just want
see, you think when we get in a room together, I'm stuck in there with you. No, you're stuck in there.
Easy there, Rorschach. Easy
you're stuck in there with me, buddy.
Easy. I'm Dr. Manhattan in this deal, bro. I can snap you.
You're not Dr. Manhattan.
Don't pull that BS with me.
Oh, please.
I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I know how this works. Okay. No. We don't back up. Okay. You never retreat. This isn't the Iraqi army against America.
You're Dr. Manhattan. Let me see your underwear.
What?
You're Dr. Manhattan. You wore a codpiece. Let me see your underwear.
Didn't he wear that shield thing?
That's a codpiece.
Mark, I'm just going to tell you, I got this horrible image of a big, huge, giant blue Joe trying to run around New York trying to destroy it. That was just,
I'm picturing.
I'm feeling ill. Yes, go ahead.
Steel underpants from.
Go ahead, Doctor. Yeah, go ahead,
Robin
Doctor.
Men in Tights.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I don't know who's going. I can go if you like, but I'm pretty sure.
Who do you think you're talking to, Jagoff?
Uh,
These boys are crazy.
Kari, I'm not going to disagree with you there because again, uh, Vando is with his hustle and his energy more impactful on a consistent basis than Dalton Connect.
Yeah, but
Dalton,
yeah, it's
it's
a
the
good
reason
point,
why he
Gerald.
hasn't got
They're different
minutes, Mark,
players.
you and I've discussed this back and forth, is he is at times atrocious defensively, but JJ found a way, I don't want to say for lack of a better term, hid him. I
Yeah,
don't know where Joe went, but Joe just kicked himself out.
he'll be
Um,
back.
uh, yeah, he'll be back. Uh,
He's on his way to Canada.
he's scared. Yes, there you go. I think he got scared, or maybe.
I,
Oh
I
God,
heard his
could he be
feelings.
actually trying to get become blue and you know do a Dr. Manhattan? I hope not. But anyways, Mark, I just want to say that no one's doubting the consistency more of what Vanderbilt brings over Dalton Connect. Dalton again, but JJ found a way to give him sustained minutes and not have him hurt you defensively. That I thought was a great job by JJ by doing that today, Mark.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Dalton just needed to come in and really focus on what he does best, which is scoring. Um, and it's not always going to be like that, especially in playoffs. There's going to be a time where Dalton does need to defend. I did see a bit more active hands from him tonight. I feel that same way about Luca. Yeah, Luca's not going to be the kind of defender that gets low and stays in front of, super quick players all the time, but he's got quick hands, so he'll get in an odd hand here to deflect the pass. He might not always get the um, the steal, but he'll get a deflection and things like that. For me, the whole team sort of stepped up defensively, which has brought along a guy like Dalton, who at times, as we've said, Gerald, man, the defense has been so poor, especially for a young player that is trying to make his way in the league. You'd think it wouldn't just all be about scoring, but I don't know. Like I'm going to give him credit tonight, and I think what he put up with during that Mark Williams trade. He's a young man. He's not. We're in our 40s and older and what have you. We've been through a bit of experiences in our life where maybe you can absorb something like that. I think it took him a few games to get his head around exactly what had happened, and we saw a little bit of potential sulking on the bench and stuff like that. But I also don't mind that. I don't mind players where you can see the emotion. It means they care. And one thing that I say about Dalton is that he can offer something a little bit different to AR in the sense that, okay, AR is a much better, ball handler and creator. Dalton can dunk, man. And when Joe's talking about how important space is in this game and how you can see the effect that's having on a player like Hayes, it's going to be there for Dalton too. So, if his three's not open, he can rush the lane and dunk. I think there's going to be some pretty key moments for Dalton during this season for us. Really key. And tonight, he was the one that kept the momentum going when Luca had to go to the to the locker room. Dalton and LeBron were a big part of keeping the momentum going. So like we always think about Dalton, man. I mean, there's a reason LeBron put out that tweet, sort of admonishing the rest of the league for not taking him before he got drafted. He's obviously a pretty special player there, and when you can ball out and score 37 points, it's going to come in handy, man. So I've got mad respect for Dalton. I feel like he's put up with a lot the last few weeks. He balled out in the rookie game during the All-Star weekend, so. I think I'm glad he's still there, and the conspiracy theorist in me also believes that they might have looked at it and just thought, oh, that trade, we don't, obviously Williams was injured, but I also think they felt like maybe Dalton can help Luca out here, especially if we can get like Maxi back later in the playoffs, or for a playoff push, so it could be another big man to support Hayes and what have you. So Dalton, shout out to you, man. I think you've had a great game tonight, and I'm just going to go game by game with you. So, mad respect.
Absolutely, indeed. But once again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Lakers win 108-102. They're now in second place in the Western Conference. Magic Man, I bring it to you. Kerry, asks a great
Good
question. What exactly makes DK a bad defender? Because we noted on the show that's why he hasn't gotten extended minutes period at times, because he's quite often, and it hurts me to say this, look like one of the worst defenders in the NBA. At times, it has really been a bleep show at times. But is it just inexperience she's asking, or being in the wrong place, or a lack of athleticism? He seems to be pretty long and athletic, which we've seen him on the offensive end, yes. But defensive end, I think it's the fact that awareness, inexperience, plus the fact that, for 5 years, he was a 5-year player, if I'm not mistaken, right, Magic?
Yeah.
He was the leading scorer and the top offensive player everywhere he went, even at Tennessee. He never really had to emphasize and play or concern himself much on the defensive end. He is a good rebounder, a very good rebounder for his size. That's the one thing he can do outside of shooting. But defensively, one-on-one, there seems to be just not, getting around screens or leaving his man open. Just the defensive awareness is just not there. And it's the major reason why he's never playing consistent minutes at this point in time. JJ did find a way to work around it today, but again, as Dalton has to go ahead and at least play, I don't want to say adequate, just slightly below adequate. As long as he's hit that shot, he'll stay out there, Magic Man. But Kerry asks a very good question, wants to understand what makes him such a bad defender.
So he's got very raw fundamentals. If you watch him, he doesn't bend his knees a lot when he's defending an opponent who's obviously quicker than him, Gerald. And me and Gerald have noticed that. You got to bend your knees and you've got to get as low as you can. It's, again, I chalk it up to inexperience. But, Gerald, we can't keep talking about inexperience forever with Dalton Connect. He's played in the league for about 50 games now. And so I think a lot of it is fundamentals. Another observation that Gerald has made, and I've noticed it as well, is that he's not strong on the ball. He is 6'5". He's built. Yes, he looks athletic, but he doesn't use his athleticism.
He doesn't play with force.
He doesn't. And he's got to learn that if you're gonna play both ends, and I'm pretty sure he wants to, got to bend those knees. Got to get as low as you can, and you've got to use your body as much as to your advantage. I mean, he's a big guy. He's very athletic. He's not thick. He's very athletic. You have to be able to use your strength to your advantage. When guys go up for layups, you can see it. They're just waving him off. It's almost as if he's like a feather. He's so light to them. You can't play like that. You have to play a strong brand of on ball, bending your knees, get as low as you can, and try and do your best. Now, Gerald, if he keeps shooting like this, I mean,
he's going to stay in there.
He's going to stay in there. It's just that simple. But we're going to need a shooting. I know. I hear. I'm listening. I'm reading a lot in the chat about, well, Dalton might not play a lot in the playoffs. You guys don't know that. We don't know if there's going.
Well, it's just it's that old mentality where the coaches don't go to the rookie right away. As
Mike Malone trusted Christian Brown a lot in the playoffs when the Nuggets won their title, Gerald.
Okay.
I'm just saying all it is somebody rolls an ankle, Goody rolls an ankle, or Luka rolls an ankle. You never know, and Dalton's gonna need to be ready. So I mean, I'm so defensively, it's still a work in progress, but I am pleased with the resilience I'm seeing from Dalton Connect, Gerald. There was a couple games there after the trade where we weren't really sure where's your head at, so to speak. But he's back. He's back. He's playing his game. I'm happy for him. But he's got to continue to watch film, listen to the coaches. I mean, you got Scott Brooks and Nate McMillan there, okay? One guy won Coach of the Year for the Thunder, and Nate McMillan won got multiple teams to playoff series. So these guys know what they're talking about, and Connect just has to be a little bit more fundamentally sound, Gerald.
Absolutely. Again, defensive awareness too, because like remember against the Dallas game, he gave up was it 2 or 3 straight to Klay Thompson, and I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, Klay Thompson, but he's already on a heater. But he was already on a heater, and then he adds. It's just like you're not aware that the guy is taking those shots. It's that, and he got pulled right after. JJ pulled him right after that, and it's those type of things he's got to avoid doing. He's just got to play fundamentally sound, defensive aware defense, even at just an adequate level. I liken it to Kyle Kuzma, Magic Man, in that remember when he was a rookie, he was a matador. Earlier in his career, he was a matador. It wasn't until the title run that he was asked to become a better defender, work on it. And remember, he went to the bench. He worked on it and became what their 6th, 7th man, and became the guy that they put on the best offensive players for the in the playoffs. And he became a really, really decent defender during that run. Now you can leave it up to your interpretation where he's at. But again, I'm not asking Connect to become an all-world defender. I'm just asking him to hold his own out there until he gets a chance to take up some shots. And because that's what he needs. He needs to take the shots. He needs to get the minutes to get his rhythm in order to be effective out there, as we saw tonight. Joe, let me bring it back to you in here. And once again, the Lakers do win 108 to 102. Be that as it may, Lakers are in second place in the Western Conference. They have 2 games left on this homestand against New Orleans and also as well the New York Knicks. Then they go out on this very, I'll say interesting, somewhat concerning road trip that's upcoming. But the Lakers go in, hopefully, into that with a lot of momentum. Your thoughts on how they'll finish up the homestand and head out after that?
No, I'm not concerned anymore as long as there isn't any crazy injuries. That's it. That's the only concern. That's the only concern in the NBA at this point is injuries. They didn't have the 3rd and 4th best player today, and they still really took it from beginning to end against the Clippers. Clippers were playing really hard too. They really wanted to win this game. It's teams that are going to be scared of the Lakers because Luka's still not going to be Luka probably for another month. Maybe even longer. I don't know. It's a lot to ask someone to reroute their life in 3 weeks and do what he's doing here. And I would say the biggest thing for me, the rest of the way, is make sure that everybody's got the energy, everybody has the focus, and that's usually the guys that are in and around LeBron and Luka. I think the rotations have been great, by the way. I really have liked how Luka's been coming in, doing his thing, and then he'd sit, and then LeBron would come in. And today there was an issue where they went on an 8-0 run, but it was one of those games, I guess, that LeBron just couldn't stop making unforced errors. However, when they clamp it together, it just seemed like nothing phases them. And this hasn't been the case, guys. This hasn't been the case. The Lakers have lost these games a lot the last 5 years. So if we had to pick one little instance that has changed where you cannot argue, is that the Lakers are not losing these games anymore with Luka. They're not. And they won't. They won't lose these games regularly. The Lakers were losing these games more than not. And it was very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating because there's no reason to lose a 5-6 point lead with 2.5 minutes left. That's bad basketball when you allow something like that to happen. You miss free throws, you miss layups. They had all that tonight, but they still were able to get through it because the energy's there, and you have Luka there making shots and just creating enough space, enough fear to where it's allowing everybody else to do what they need to do. So yeah, I think they're fearing the Lakers now. Maybe OKC might not, maybe the Celtics might not, maybe Cleveland might not, because they are the cream of the crop at this point. And the cream of the crop, yeah.
Yeah.
But
dig it.
But Everyone else, now they have to worry about the Lakers. Now it's like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And that's the fun part. Fear is what Mike Tyson used to do before he even hit the ring. He beat his opponent before he even got in the ring. Now, when you hear Luka Doncic is coming, you have LeBron James coming, and they're on the same team. Oh, and everyone else is pulling their weight. Oh, you have Dalton connecting on 7 of 10 shots after Rui and Reeves are out. Good luck. Good luck.
Mark, let me bring it back to you. 805 in the chat. Thank you so much to the super chats for M24, 805, and also No Joker, who says LeBron is the GOAT as well. Truly appreciate all the super chats. It greatly helps the channel. Thank you so much for doing so. 805 said, should AR come off the bench like Ginobili? Elite bench. Now, Joe and I, for most of the season, had said that we thought that AR's, Austin Reeves' best position would be coming off the bench as a sixth man in a championship team scenario. Let's just put it that like we were phrasing it. We thought that's the best. Well, since Luka came around, he had up until he got hurt. He has upped his game offensively to where it is just so difficult to make that choice now. Plus, for his own career, seeing in the summer of 2026, he could get a big, huge paycheck at the end of it. Your thoughts, my friend? Should AR come off the bench like Ginobili, or should, when he comes back from his injury, go ahead and slide in ahead of Gabe Vincent once again?
It's an interesting conundrum, that's for sure. But I mean, for me, yeah, I don't know. I'd be starting AR. I want our strongest team to start the game, which currently is the two players that are out, and obviously Hayes, Luka, and LeBron. From there, you can, scatter the minutes how you see fit. I mean, we saw today, Joe made the point then, and a great point during playback, when we saw essentially Luka coming out for LeBron. How that sort of, okay, we lost a little bit of momentum, but just the power of that. So I think you can have AR in the starting lineup. So you look at, our starting lineup has been extremely strong, and then you scatter AR's minutes with the secondary unit or however that works out. I don't know, even if you look at it, what the exact rationale was behind Pop doing that with Manu. Manu might have just been a different sort of kettle of fish. It's obviously to bring impact on with the second unit and what have you, but I feel like he can, like JJ, with his rotations and with the depth that we've got with Dalton, with Gabe, Milkshake to a lesser degree, Goodwin when he's there, that we can really mix up those minutes. I think to now put AR on the bench is if you don't read it out, does that still constitute a ban? Anyway, whatever.
I'm sure I'll find out.
Yeah, that's right. Get ready for that email. But what I'm saying is that I'd hate to hurt AR's confidence with putting him back to the bench right now. I know he's a dude that would probably pick himself up, but AR deserves to start. And it's a sick team, man. It's a sick team when you look at it on paper with Luka, AR, Rui, LeBron, Hayes. Like, maybe not the Hayes part in the long run, but it's not bad. So yeah, I personally, no, AR going to the bench doesn't really make any sense for me. Only thing that would hurt is his confidence. You can scatter the minutes, you can make the rotations to fit in, essentially starting him, but also him being a big part of the second unit. So no, my answer to that is no. And we want to hit 77 likes, chat. That's what we're going to go for in all of these streams if we can. So just have a quick look if you've hit the like, please.
It is much appreciated if you do, and it really helps out the channel. And again, thank you for that. Appreciate everything.
Yes, we really, really appreciate it, guys.
Shut up, Joe. Shut up, Joe. All right. Robert Wheeler, question of the day. Magic Man, I'm going to bring it to you. Which side of the ball do you think is playing better for the Lakers since the Lakers acquired Luka, the offense or the defense? I told Robert in the chat, it's not even close. I mean, you're holding teams to 102 and under on a regular basis now. they're not really lighting it up offensively as a collective unit. I mean, we haven't seen much in the way of, huge 120 plus point games since Luka's been here, but the defense has continued its success from the January 14th day that everybody sets a precedent on, I guess, seemingly now. They have not stopped their defense, even with Luka joining the team, Magic Man.
Yeah, no, Gerald. I think it's obvious the defense is a little ahead of the offense right now. That's to be expected. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Usually the offensive of the ball lingers a little bit or lags when you have when you make a monumental move like this. And yeah, you're holding opponents to 102 points or less over your past 12 games. Yeah, of course, the defense is solid. Um, gonna have to make some adjustments though. We're playing some really good teams coming up, Gerald, and there's enough film now, and we're going to have to make some adjustments. And JJ's more than capable of doing it. But this isn't a case that somehow we've become, the '96 Bulls. That this team still has some flaws. We're able to hide them a lot more now with Luka. But that being said, there's still an underbelly, and they've got to get things correct. I'll just add on to what Mark was saying there. Manu Ginobili came off the bench out of necessity. Gerald, they didn't have anybody else to facilitate with the Spurs. If you're the Spurs, you went from Avery Johnson to Tony Parker in a span of 6 years. In between then, you didn't really have anybody. So Manu had to come off the bench out of necessity for Pop. And by the way, he wasn't exclusively a bench player. He has started over 350 games in the NBA. So it's not as if he was just relegated to the bench. If you put Austin Reeves to the bench, it doesn't make any sense to me, Gerald. It makes no sense. You've already established the fact that you've got 1, 2, 3 guys that could score over 20 points in the lineup together. And they're getting better each and every game. Why would you bring Austin Reeves off the bench? He's not a point guard, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is difficult for some people.
Well, you got to remember. Well, just let me see this, Sean. For most of the season, the Lakers bench was pretty bad.
It was, but I mean that doesn't mean you should relegate Austin Reeves to the bench just because you think that the bench will be more productive with him there. The starting lineup. How are you going to improve the starting lineup?
Now you can't. He's played so well that you can't.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to say is if you took him out of the starting lineup, who are you putting in there that you think is going to either maintain the offense or make it better? We're saying there is nobody else. That's why he's the third option right now. And by the way, Gerald, who's to say JJ hasn't thought of this already and he's going to stagger all 3 of them in the playoffs? He's going to have to. That's just our bench situation is what it is, and you're going to have to stagger. I would stagger Austin to come off the floor last. LeBron and Luka come off first, and then Austin comes off last. That's the way I would do it because
Austin finishing the quarter. You mean?
Yes, because then at least you have some buffer. You have a buffer zone there, and in the playoffs, these 3 guys are going to be playing anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes a game. So you're going to need some kind of staggering against Denver, OKC, who else? So I really think it would behoove everybody to just live with the idea that Reeves is a starter. And by the way, he is a starter.
And his agent will tell you he is going to stay a starter.
He's started 53 games already. Why would you put him on the bench now? Like that makes no sense. That makes no sense to me.
No, kill his confidence too, Sean.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Big time. Keep it
Childish Joe, let me bring it back in here. One person that we did not compliment as of yet was the game plan by the guy himself, who has helped orchestrate all this. Since you don't like crediting assistant coaches at all, let's coach the big guy himself, the podcaster himself, JJ Redick. We're just seeing the ups and downs or so far earlier in the season as a rookie head coach, took his lumps from time to time, showed some promise from time to time, turn the calendar forward to 2025, turn the calendar forward to January 14th, 2025. And since then, we've seen JJ orchestrate a masterful defensive job and a winning ways that has set the Lakers ablaze to a second spot in the Western Conference, Joe.
You have to throw in the assistant bullshit again in there.
Yes, because it goes ahead and
I'm gonna ask the question again.
you hate it.
What do you think the record would be if Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks weren't the assistant coaches?
Can you not even give them any credit at all?
Gerald, are you on some like crusade to give everyone credit about everything that ever existed? You know who I give credit to? The players. That's number one. That's the credit I want to give to the players. Oh, and by the way, the management that brought us Luka Doncic. How about that? Yeah. I'm not going to sit around and start patting everyone in the ass at how great they are. That's a terrible precedent to set. How about you let things develop and you let things go the way they're going, like they're, pretty good. And I know Sean is going to like this, right? Sean, you remember that press conference that Nick Saban had when he was talking about poison? How the media, when they keep telling everybody how badass Alabama is, that's like poisoning the team.
Rat poison, yeah.
It's rat poison. Not even just regular poison, rat poison. So I don't want, even though they're not likely listening to us yet, I'm not going to sit here and after every game, guys, you're doing great. No. How about this? How about we enjoy the games? We give props to those who play well. And the ones who don't play well, it depends on who it is. If Gabe Vincent can't shoot for an entire game, I'm probably not going to get mad at him as much as I do LeBron James, folks. And then you guys come out with your pitchforks and say, why are you hating on LeBron James? He's the GOAT.
Well,
I'm just telling you what happened in the game.
I will say this, Gerald. It is.
What the hell is this? You're gonna what Gerald? What does Gerald have to do with this?
Because I'm speaking to the host and creator of Lakers.
We're talking about credit now,
and you don't get any.
I didn't ask for it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
When? You guys keep putting sentences in my mouth. When the hell did I want credit for what?
Oh, I didn't put it in your mouth. I put it in your head.
I need.
I put it in your head.
No, don't do that reverse psychology bullshit on me. What are you? You're not Freud. This is about, as a fan, you're observing, and maybe you're one of those people.
Not a fraud either.
I didn't say you were. The point here is you got to let this do its thing and stop thinking about credit and patting everybody on the back and making everybody feel good. No. And people have to understand the difference between saying what happened and hating or not liking. I just told you a good example. I just said a good example. If Gabe Vincent misses every shot in the game, I'm not going to get mad at him as much as I get mad at LeBron for creating 8 turnovers, which in 7 of them were unforced. Does that make sense?
No.
Yes, it does make sense. You're just being a dick. So.
Oh, pardon me?
Yeah, I said it because it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
I beg your pardon.
We are narrating the game. We narrate the game, and this particular book changes every game.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So when Jack McKinney did a header on the pavement, you're telling me anybody else would have won that championship, Sorrel?
Well, it did. Paul Westhead did.
I'm asking you, would anybody else have won that title? Would Pat Riley have won that title?
Pat Riley, yeah.
Okay, what about the others? Do you know who the other assistants were on the Lakers that year? I bet you don't.
Well, there weren't any. Who was it? It was Pat Riley, who came in late after McKinney got hurt. And then Paul Westhead got
on Channel 9 with Chick.
Chick Hearn, yeah.
So Westhead went from assistant to main.
Yes. So your answer is anybody else in this state and city of Los Angeles would have won a title with the Lakers that year.
Well, let's. Those are different.
No. Oh, see. Oh, now we're playing reverse.
That's a different. You're talking about 45 years ago.
Shit right now. It's coming out your
Bill
eyeballs.
won a title in '69, playing and coaching. You ask yourself that question today. Can LeBron James coach this team and win?
No,
exactly. So you're asking me a question that is irrelevant to today's game.
Bullshit.
It's not bullshit. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
That's a legitimate response to that. Especially since that proves my point.
This man makes me want to drink, ladies and gentlemen. He makes me want to drink.
Crack open the scotch. But hey, Joe,
you are beyond absurd right now.
Why? Why? Because assistant coaches aren't that big of a deal?
No. You're talking out of your ass.
No, I'm not talking out of my ass.
You are talking
assistant
out of your
coaches
ass.
are not that crucial to winning. Sorry, they're not.
Do you think they would have helped JJ
maybe Thibodeau? That's it. What was that?
Do you think that would have helped JJ in any way? Like, I know what you're saying about assistants not being super important, but he is a first-year coach. And I just feel like maybe some of the conversations that guys like Dalton have had haven't always just been with JJ. It might have been with some of these experienced assistants.
Well, let's use last year as an example. So Phil Handy was the big.
Go ahead, keep talking, Joe. We're just looking at what Carrie says are your Joe-isms. Vandal sucks, number 1. Assistant coaches don't matter, number 2. Luka will get better eventually, number 3. Mute the trolls, number 4. Rawr, I'm angry. Give me more liquor.
Hey, Joe, this is one point just before you answer the question I just asked you. And Carrie, good one, but
that was very funny, Carrie.
Hey, but I saw a story where Austin Reeves was talking about LeBron James last year and how in his rookie year, where LeBron was just going him for 2 or 3 weeks straight about how poorly he was playing and also how badly he was doing in training. And apparently Phil Handy was the one to have a chat to AR, and AR was so concerned about it, but Phil Handy said to him, the only reason that he's getting on you like that is he believes in you. Do you think like some of those sort of moments with the Nate McMillan is happening with the team that might be helping overall?
So are we going to give credit to Artest's shrink now in Game 7 of the 2010 finals? Are we going to give her an assistant credit? Look, guys, this is the problem with society in general. It's not just sports, but sports is a microcosm of society. Folks, the reason why I'm intense is because someone has to do it. No one's doing it around me. Everyone wants to be nice. Everyone wants to caress and support and be all into their feelings. And don't get me wrong. I cried when I watched Titanic. Hey, I got a heart sometimes. I did cry. I felt bad.
You do?
Right? Okay. But the point is, when it matters most, you need to start focusing on what needs to get done and what will get it done. The Lakers winning the championship, and by the way, to tail off what you just said there, Mark, What was Phil Handy's reward at the end of the year for doing all this great psychology? Oh, get your ass out of here, folks. Basketball is not a complicated sport. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say he didn't want to come back. He voluntarily left.
Good for him. Good. So the point here is talent on that court and the guy that calls the shots on the sideline are going to be the most important parts of this, and it always will be that. And you can go ahead and get your jollies off the trainer, the assistant coach, whatever. I'm just telling you what I feel about that and how I think it matters. And to me, maybe it matters a little bit. How about that? Does that make you feel better, Sean?
No.
How about that? Does that make you feel better?
No.
How about that?
I wasn't paying attention
That's
to
a
what you were
concession
saying.
for me.
Well, if you take your hand out of your pants and pay attention next time, maybe you'd be listening.
Gerald, I have permission to go deaf whenever he talks. So
You have that permission. But let me bring it to you since Joe in 10 minutes failed to answer my question. What kind of credit do you give JJ Redick for
I told you what the answer was. Stop with the credit crap. Let this team do its thing.
Let him answer the question.
I just answered his question.
You
It
answered
was
by not
directed to
answering the
Mark,
question.
not to you. Mark,
No, it was to you,
start
Sean. It was to
talking,
you,
Mark.
Sean.
You,
Oh.
Sean.
It was to you, Sean. It's you, Sean.
Okay, yeah. No,
You were so mad at Joe that we couldn't hear it. That's okay. No worries, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do because, first of all, what Joe Soro doesn't understand is that there's only 24 hours in a day, and you can't do everything yourself. Although he likes to think he can. JJ Redick has other responsibilities and roles, and guess what? It takes scouts, assistants to actually watch film, evaluate it, and come up with game plans. Then the head coach goes over those game plans and decides whether or not he needs to veto certain things. But Joe doesn't understand that. He just thinks JJ Redick wakes up and pulls a game plan out of his ass. That's not the way it works. And Gerald, should be noted, Nate McMillan and Scotty Burks were involved in the best brawl ever in NBA history between the Sonics and the Rockets. But they didn't even yeah.
I was saying hopefully it's a lot better than what we saw today in San Antonio and who else was it? Was it Memphis?
No, it was OKC. That was
OKC,
pretty. That
that's
was
right,
pretty
yeah.
ugly, actually.
That was just a dance. That looked like the high school dance.
Yeah, it did. It did. But Jalen Williams thinks he's Floyd Mayweather all of a sudden.
When was this fight, Sean?
Tonight, Mark.
I showed I put the
that
video
one with
at
the
playback.
Sonics, Sonics Rockets
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
Oh, that one was years ago, mate. I'll pull that up
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, but yeah, they were really throwing punches. Like Hakeem and Sean Kemp were going at it
chucking
pretty
punches.
good. Yeah,
Oh,
actual
I don't know. Was
punches.
that one better
I
though
gotta
at the
see
Malice at the Palace? I really liked that one.
I don't know.
I
Gerald,
saw that game live. I saw that
was-
game live on
yeah,
the
I know. It's hard though because Vernon Maxwell's a
What's
nutter
hard?
as
'Cause
Vernon
that one just
Maxwell's a
kept
nutter as
going.
much as Ron Artest is. So
Yeah.
it's really hard.
I still like that small little Pistons fan that came up right at the end of all it. He's like, come beat this chest. He's getting ready to go up against our test. And our test looked like, are you kidding me?
Apparently, someone said that if Jermaine O'Neal didn't slip on that beer, he would have killed that guy with the punch.
Yes, absolutely. That Malice
That's
at
a
the
good
Palace.
one. That Stewart absolutely lost his mind.
I think because I saw that live, Magic Man, I don't think I'll see a better one because I saw that one as it was happening, and it was just
kept going and going.
Yeah,
eh,
no,
the
this was a different one, Mark, where they threw the beer on top of Ron.
Yeah, no, the Malice on the Palace. No, I know that one well.
Yeah.
Sean,
And then he
I
went
watched
to the
documentary.
crowd, and yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah, I mean, obviously our test then came to us, changed his name,
Absolutely.
etc. But
that was just
you don't want to see that kind of thing, man, with the crowd.
No,
and
you don't. No.
especially
Only in hockey. And
Well,
NASCAR.
the disappointing part on that level was that he was playing at an MVP level. Like if he didn't get suspended, he would have gotten MVP votes. He wouldn't have won it, but man, a lot of people don't respect Ron Art. Gerald, a lot of people to this day, including a lot of Laker fans, just do not respect the sacrifice Artest made coming here. He went from being a number one option in Indiana, and he was a number one option in Houston. When T-Mac got hurt, and he came here and was a fourth option.
After he told Kobe in the shower that he was going to come here and help this team win a championship, if I'm not mistaken, after they lost in the first time they met up against the Celtics. So
absolutely,
as the story goes, yes. I mean, Kobe sitting there in the shower, dejected from losing it, all of a sudden looks up. Oh, Ron Artest.
I want to thank my mailman, by the way, folks, for delivering a package today on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm going to tell him again how great it was to bring the mail again on a Monday.
What's your mailman's name?
So I want to thank Earth for supplying oxygen for us to breathe. And I want to thank the planet for going around the sun and stuff. Is there anybody else we have left to give thanks to?
Yourself?
I wouldn't mind a thanks.
I don't know. I've never thanked myself.
Gerald.
Thank you, JSK,
if you could run into your own arms on the beach.
I want to thank the planet too for supplying me water. How about that?
If you could run into the beach in your own arms, you would. Who are you kidding?
I'm not calling coward. What are you, nuts?
And on that note, it is, of course, give the Sun some credit. Yes.
It's not a note. It's a rave review.
Yes. All right. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 108-102. They are, and as if you didn't know it, they're in the second place in the Western Conference. Xbox, I'm going to have you start off the roll call before we head on out. Just another good win. Before we started this back-to-back against the Clippers, the injuries started piling up. It was kind of concerning how they would do. I remember Joe and I saying, you know what, they get a split. That's good. But then after the first game, I'll give Joe a little credit here. He said, let's get greedy. Let's really get greedy. And with this team and the way everything fell out, I said, well, hey, look, there's a chance if everything fell right that the Lakers could be in second place by the end of the weekend. And sure enough, Xbox, they are.
Yeah, insane. I mean, and that's what we were talking about at the start of the show when I first came on. We're sort of in between cloud 7 and cloud 9. So we're, hovering around a cloud 8 at this stage. It's been crazy. The team's playing so well. And yes, that was just before Luka that this run started. So to integrate him, like I said before, quite seamlessly. The only way is up. The thing, the team's only going to get better. Luka's only going to get better. Joe keeps harping on about it. He's probably a month or so away from being at his sort of peak fitness. So I couldn't be happier with where we're at. To be in second place, we'll always talk about it, and you'll always talk about it, Gerald. None of the experts on this panel had us anywhere near there, and admittedly, the trades changed that. So if you go back and make the predictions, maybe you do put us at first or second. But the reality is we were playing well before the trade, and it's only kept going, and it's going to get better. So, cloud 8 right now. If we can keep this going and end up in a top 2 spot in the West, man, there's just so much possibility from there. I really believe that SGA and the boys in OKC are still beatable. You look at their record, they're 10 games ahead of us. It's pretty damn impressive. But on a given day, I reckon we can beat them. My boys, Memphis, are sliding. Houston were never going to be a long-term factor for me. So, man, if we can get this second spot, and then it's like you start focusing in on Denver and a couple of the big teams, we can knock them out. And then whoever we play in the East, we can beat too. So it's super unreal where we're going at the moment, Gerald. And second spot, I'm not going to go down the giving everyone credit path again. I'd said that before. But kudos to the club, and let's just see where we go from here. The only way is up. Who's our next game? New Orleans in 2 days. That's another winnable game, man. And Bart, you can't get complacent in the NBA, and I'm sure they won't. So look forward to that game with you boys on playback, and thanks for having me on Postgame today.
Always. Thank you for being on. How'd you like that, Joe? That was for you.
And I want to give you credit, Mark,
Thank
for your
Hello.
parents raising you and being Australian and having headphones. There you go.
Thanks,
Magic
Mom and
Man, I want to bring it over to you. I will give credit to Joe, because Joe, often in his arguments early on against the Luka haters, was saying, "Well, if we had AD, where would we be at?" Because he was already injured before the trade and got more injured after the trade. So let's just say that
true.
we did make the Luka trade. Where, Sean, would we be at right now if we hadn't made that trade? Because we wouldn't have AD right now.
Giving credit to Anthony Davis.
Shut up, Joe.
To quote my grandfather, we'd be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
Okay. So Nick T says the same spot. We would be in second place. We were playing well beforehand. I know Nick has mentioned that before, and I give him credit for that.
No, we'd be up
Did you
Schitt's
say the
Creek
same
without
place?
a paddle.
Yeah, see, Nick T thinks that abdomen, whatever the hell tear that he got, wouldn't have happened in LA. There's an invisible injury deflector that wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm just
parallel
saying what
universe or some shit.
Yeah. It would have been like the movie. What was that? The butterfly effect.
Oh, that was
yeah.
actually a good movie.
He'd be flying like a butterfly in LA. He wouldn't have gotten hurt, right?
Yep. Was that Ashton Kutcher's finest performance ever?
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
liked him playing. I know this is going to sound sacrilege, but
As
I liked him
Jobs?
better as what?
As Jobs, I was going to say as Steve
Yes,
Jobs.
I thought he was better at
Oh.
Jobs than Fassbender.
Never seen that one.
I liked Fassbender
nor have
Jobs. But yeah, you're right. I know he's been given a lot of credit for doing well there as playing Jobs ahead of Fassbender on that one. But Joe, I'm going to finish off the conversation with you. Lakers are in second place in the Western Conference. Again, the Lakers, can they continue this mojo? Can they continue this throughout the homestand? But on the horizon, we will be talking about it in a couple games, Joe. There's going to be a big, important trip coming up on the horizon as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very good end of the year. Lakers are going to be a team that other teams are going to have to worry about now, where before it was more, can we beat this team in Boston? Can we beat this team in Chicago? I don't know. No more.
Yeah.
Lakers right now, looking at the standings, it looks like they're going to probably win the division, which is hilarious. This will be their 34th in the NBA. If you count their one in the NBL, be 34 or 35, sorry. So looking at their current record, they're standing at 38-21, which means they're at, what is that, 59 games? So 59 games, that means there's 23 games left. For them to win 50 games, which was just out of this world, no way in hell at the beginning of the year. Now all they got to do is win 12 and 13. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even have to play 500 ball to win 50 games. And that 50th game will get them a 4th seed. Worst case. Based off the way the way it's playing out. However, someone mentioned 55. I wasn't even thinking 55. I was thinking 52. If you get the 55, you might get that number 2. For sure, number 3. And that would be moist.
That would be moist indeed. Before we head on out, as we always have a standard Robert Wheeler question, I guess I always now going to have an 805 question. Guys, thank you again for the super chat. Would you rather be struck by thunder or fall off a cliff? Xbox, I'll start with you.
I don't know, man. That's pretty obvious. Like getting struck by thunder and getting cooked out of oblivion would be much better than falling off a cliff and knowing that that's happening. I'd suspect. So I'd rather get snapped with thunder. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you boys feel? I don't think
Well,
that couple of
Well,
seconds falling down the cliff would be very nice.
You hear thunder, you see lightning, so you get struck by lightning. You don't get struck
There you
by
go.
thunder.
Great point.
Let's just
That's-
say
that
lightning.
big-
Let's
that-
just say
that-
lightning.
Psych
That
out.
being said, oh man, I'd rather get struck by lightning.
Yeah,
That's
People
the
have lived.
case.
Lee Trevino got struck by lightning, and still lived.
Might
So,
end up
yeah,
like the guy from
Sure.
Summer Rental.
Yes.
66.
Well, they raining. They raining.
So John Candy, there's a lot of scenes that Candy has done. That one in particular was great because you could see him actually almost breaking character, trying not to laugh at this guy.
Joe, struck by lightning or falling off a cliff?
Well, if you fall off the cliff head first, you're done in a second. If you get struck by lightning, I've heard people have survived it and not good. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I mentioned Lee Trevino. I don't know how much.
Didn't it destroy his back?
Yeah, it's back.
There-
You're right. Yeah,
There
yeah,
was
yeah.
there was a blind person who got struck by lightning, and they were able to see when they woke up the next day. Joe.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
All right. Yeah, I didn't
I've
know that
seen
either.
some crazy ones when they're on the soccer pitch and like 15, 20 people go down and like a couple, 18 or so get up and two are dead and that lightning stuff. But just if the ultimate thing was you were going to die, surely you'd take the lightning over knowing what was happening when you're falling. Joe, I know you're
It's
you
interesting.
love
It's
fame.
It's interesting that JJ yelled at LeBron. Is that true? I didn't know that. Did he yell at
Well, let me bring this
LeBron?
up. Let me bring this up before we head it
Yeah.
out. Nick T, I know we give you a lot of grief, but we do appreciate you
He gives
being here.
us grief. What do you mean we give him grief?
It's been going on.
Well,
You
he
want to
gives
give
us
him
a
credit for that too?
He's giving us a super chat. I say was one last time. We flipped the switch after the Sixers game before the Luka trade, and JJ yelled at LeBron. That's when LeBron has been on an MVP mode.
You want to know the last time I heard a coach yell at LeBron? Do you remember? 2016, Ty
That
Lue.
face? Oh,
And what happened at the end of the year that year? Credit.
Title.
chips.
Credit.
All right.
Word of
What
the
is
day.
the Lakers fast break? I'm going to give us credit for being the best there is.
You can take the credit. I'll take the cash.
Okay. I thought you weren't into money. Okay. Silent right there. Drinking what's left of that water. It is, of course, the
I
Lakers.
am into business. I'm not into whoring myself. There's a difference.
Fair enough. Okay. It is, of course, the Lakers fast
We may
break.
be whores at this agency, but we ain't pimps.
Entourage. Ari Gold.
Ari Gold, ladies and gentlemen. Ari Gold.
And we'll be back tomorrow for more fun and hijinks in between.
We really need to level up on that soundboard.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. But I don't know if it'll let me
Well
do it.
said.
But we'll see. We'll certainly see what we can do about that. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast
We
break.
can't use our own, Gerald?
Well, I'm looking at it. I don't see a spot where you can add on. But again, I can on a different version of TalkScoop. That's another conversation I have off camera with you guys. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The next game, I believe, is Tuesday, as was mentioned by Xbox against New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Xbox?
Yeah, yep. Wednesday here, Tuesday for you. Exactly right.
Yep. Absolutely. So with that, we'll be back tomorrow, maybe with another snack pack or a nightcap or NBA observations. I seem to get on Facebook copyright strikes for all three, so it doesn't really matter. Whichever we're going to do, doesn't matter. We'll be back once again in some form or fashion for tomorrow. Lakers win 108 to 102. They're in second place, people. They are in second place in the Western Conference. Liking it. Not in Cloud 9. Not yet. But can we get there? We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Suck it, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean. You can reply. All right. Fair enough.
You know where you can stick that? Dan.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
I could kick you in the head, but